The first question is dealing with the work that we do at UNECE, the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, on trade facilitation. We actually have a very broad area of work under trade facilitation. What we are dealing with here at the meeting on UNCFACT, which is trade facilitation and e-business standards, dealing with standards to make trade facilitation more effective and more efficient, to be able to develop e-business standards to also improve trade, to facilitate trade, and standards that allow more efficient and more effective trade for countries. In addition to that, within the UNCFACT, we are of course developing recommendations that assist countries to be able to implement things like single window. But in fact, beyond single window, we work also on agricultural quality standards at UNECE to help countries improve their agricultural quality, to be able to have trade with other countries on agricultural products. We also do studies on non-tariff barriers to trade, where we look at what types of regulations and other issues are affecting a country that decrease the trade efficiency and effectiveness. And we try to give them recommendations on how they can improve these areas under market access. In addition, we have a lot of work on capacity building within the UNECE region, but also outside of the region from time to time. Here in Morocco, we have been doing some work on trade facilitation, also capacity building, where we go to countries and to ports and assist them in implementing single window to be able to have in place a single window for better trade with other countries, and have this connectivity between all of the agencies within a country. In terms of what we are doing under single window projects under UNCFACT, right now what we are working on is Recommendation 33 that was released many years ago for putting in place with the instructions on well, I wouldn't call them instructions, I would say some guidelines on how to implement a single window, how to achieve putting in place a single window in a country. However, of course, as we know, things don't remain static. It's dynamic, the situation with trade. There have been many changes over time. Today, we heard about the changes that have to do with e-commerce and how there's many more small businesses also involved in trade, and this needs to be taken into account when single window is being developed. So we have several projects under UNCFACT. One is the changes and the updating of Recommendation 33 on single window, but we have other projects that have to do with including small businesses, what we call small and medium-sized enterprises, so that they are more involved with trade at the international level, that they can sell their products at the international level. We also have a project called ISMIT, the one for small and medium-sized enterprises, so that they can be more involved, especially in the terms of e-commerce and small packages that are being delivered from e-commerce platforms. We also have a project on data pipeline, which is to really try to concentrate the data and the information so that there's only the data that is needed is into the pipeline and is being shared from the exporting country to the importing country, and this helps countries know exactly what kind of data they would have to enter into the pipeline and minimize the work that has to be done, the amount of paperwork that has to be done, and also only relevant data being shared between the two countries. There's also many other projects that we are working on, not necessarily dealing with single window, but also on trade facilitation in general. We are looking now to develop standards in other areas. We have a standard now that's just been developed called Flux that has to do with illegal and overfishing, to be able to have a standard to report back to the officials on how much fishing has been carried out by a specific boat. So we're looking more towards sustainable development to ensure that the type of commerce that's taking place, the type of trade that takes place is legal, that it doesn't cause any damage to the sustainability of the commerce, of the trade. And another area in which we are working which has to do also with sustainable development, is on the transparency and traceability of global value chains, in particular textiles, to see, for example, where our clothes come from. We often don't know from the moment of for example, if it's with cotton, is the cotton sustainably grown? The thread that is used, the dye that is used, that everything is done in a sustainable way up to the point of buying of those clothes. So these are the types of projects, and we encourage all experts who are interested in the projects of UNC FACT for trade facilitation to join us, because this is a voluntary global work, and we very much welcome also any Moroccan expert who would like to participate in UNC FACT to develop these projects, to participate with us in the forums that take place at least twice a year. Thank you.